last class of the intermediate 2 level. Is the class 8. Ready? So it's the class number 8. So it's the last lesson, the last session of the level intermediate 2. It means that the next week, it means the week of the 14th, the August the 14th, it's going to start with the advanced level. Ready? In the advanced level, we're going to start with 2 classes, W1.1 and of course W1.2 for you to take it into account. So the next week, the idea is that you can enter to the advanced level and program the classes of the first week, right? That's it. Ready? Bueno, my dear people, so of course it means that this week is going to be the week for finishing most of the activities on the intermediate 2 level. Ready? It should be the week in which you finish, if not all, at least the 90% of the course, so you can activate the next one and continue with the classes on time. Ready? So that would be the idea. Ready? How are you doing? More or less close to the advanced level or not yet? Almost, more or less.
For me, more or less.
In what week are you doing, Sarita?
I finished week six.
Okay, yeah, good. You are going to be very close. Great, excellent. Okay, what about the rest? Majo, Lu, Tati?
Teacher, I am
Sorry, one more time. Majo, go ahead.
more or less too. I am finishing a checkpoint week 6.
Okay, good. No, well, I mean, that's complete, right? Because almost more or less when you finish the week number 7, more or less, it's going to open the next level. That it's more or less 90%. Ready? So you're missing just like 1 week more and good. Ready? Luisa, tell me.
Teacher, I start the week 8, but I'm confused with the term, with the topic.
Of
Yes.
course. Because we're going to watch it today, don't worry.
Teacher,
We're gonna watch it today.
yes.
Okay.
And I can say this in Spanish. Un ejercicio de la semana 7, el crucigrama. ¿En serio? Las pistas no vienen. Yo
Sería
no
el
lo
mismo.
pero
Majo, el que solucionamos era la semana 7, Majo. Es que con Majo solucionamos otro que estaba súper complicado, pero no me acuerdo si era la semana 7.
No, ese fue creo que el de la semana 4.
No fue la semana 4. No, bueno, con estos crucigramas, porfa, yo sé que las pistas a veces son como que, envíenme el crucigrama con pistas y todo, y yo trato de ayudarles con eso, porque sé que a veces es un poquito complicado el vocabulario, ¿vale?
no, es que no hay pistas. O sea, no hay
No
pistas,
hay
solo
pistas.
un signo de preguntas y yo, ok, pero me dejó avanzar, o sea, me dejó seguir.
Ay, esa plataforma, ay, my God. Bueno, ok, listo, no problem then. Entonces no hay lío, no problem.
Ok, teacher.
Listo, good. And Tati, what are you doing?
No, teacher, I am bad.
In
I
what
am
week?
finishing week number 4.
Oh my God. Bueno, don't
Yes.
worry. You just continue working, don't worry. Incluso que así no importa que entres en la semana 2 o 3 del avanzado, lo importante es que sigas, ¿vale? No problem. Ready? De todas maneras, cuando ustedes acaban, o sea, cuando acabemos la clase 8 de avanzado, que es la última semana de avanzado, ahí les quedan como 1 o 2 semanitas más, creo que es una sola, no me acuerdo, extra hasta que se llegue el final de su contrato, o sea, en octubre 17, si no estoy mal, ¿sí? Creo que en octubre 17 finalizan sus contratos.
Yes, teacher.
Exactly. So we are finishing classes more or less on October 5 or something like that. So you got from October 5 until October 17, more or less, to finish all the activities that you have pending. But the important thing is that you can open the next level, so you can enter to the classes on like online, but connected, not with the recording of the sessions, but alive, like live. Bueno, my dear people, so today we're going to be working in the last session of the week of the intermediate 2, and I'm going to start with a simple question. Luke, could you please help me to read this question, honey?
Yeah, sure. What's your goal with this course?
What's your goal with this? What is the meaning of goal?
Meta.
Meta, very good. So what is your goal with this course? What do you expect to achieve with this course?
Me?
Well, in general, the person who wants to answer.
Okay, teacher. No, I think I want to learn English, but I fluence it. I want to speak more fluent in English.
Mm. Be fluent or speak fluently, right? Very good.
Yes.
That's a good goal. Okay, my dear Lou, excellent. What about the other ladies? What is your goal with this course?
For me, it's the same one. No, it's speak and learn more about English because I don't use pretty well the English for the grammatic things and all that stuff. So for me, it's hard to use modal verbs and use grammatic sentence fluently. I don't know, maybe that.
Okay, Sarita, good. I think that you use it pretty well. I mean, I think, well, maybe of course sometimes we forget some words. Maybe we have some doubts if it's good or can't, but that's nothing, like your structure and grammar, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, actually, I think all the group is pretty cool. So good, excellent. Okay, muy bien. Tati, Mahu, what's your goal with this course?
Well, teacher, I think like maybe lose the fear of speaking, because I think I studied English like 4 years ago and I graduated from it, but I stopped like studying and I start like being fearful, having
Scared.
fear,
Having fear or
uh-huh,
being scared,
being,
right?
being scared of it. So I think with this course, like I have been more like open to speak. Yes, like
Good, that's great.
like
Excellent. Great, my dear. Good. I am really proud that you are like less scared now, no? I feel really happy about it. Good. Bueno, my dear. Tati, what about you? What's your goal with the course?
It's the same teacher. Be more fluent and and be able to write coherently. I don't know how do you say that.
Coherently.
Coherently, yes.
Coherently. Okay, well, of course, the word that she's using is coherent. What is the meaning of coherent?
Coherente,
Coherente and coherently.
coherentemente.
Coherentemente. Very good. So Tati wants to write coherently, right? Mhm. Muy bien, very good. Okay, that's a good thing. Bueno, so when we're talking about our goal with this course, yes, you are looking into the future. What you're doing is looking into the future, and this is what you expect to get at the end of the course, right? Which of course I would expecting the same from you. Well, especially because you are my best group, because you are the most advanced of the group. So I would be expecting exactly the same from you. Be fluent? Well, it is ironic because sometimes in different situations, depending the person, depending the topic, we feel very fluent, right? We're like, okay, no, I could speak super clearly and super fast, and the person understood everything I said, right? In other different contexts, we feel like a baby speaking in English. It's like, it depends, right? It depends on the context, it depends on the people, it depends, right? So be fluent, speaking fluently. I would hope so that in most of the comfortable contexts, you would be fluent, right? Lose the fear. Well, that is something that is necessary in order to be fluent, right? And learn more. My God, I think that you already have a lot of knowledge in your heads, right? The structure and the grammar, I think that you have it clearly on your heads. I would say that the thing is to put it in practice, no? That's what you have to do. And writing coherently, yeah, it is something that it's a little bit easier to achieve because when you write, you have the time to think what this fox is doing. Think, right? While when you speak, it's a little bit more difficult because it's instant. You have to process the information instantly, right? But I think that you will be able to do all of those things, right? Of course, depends on the practice, depends on the amount of practice that you have, on the people that you have to practice with, or maybe if you practice alone, it's going to be influenced by a lot of different factors. But of course, we would hope so too, right? Well, I would say, well, this course is going to finish by October. More or less by October, it's going to finish the course, right? Specifically in October 17, right? So in that case, we are, as I told you, looking into the future. And when we talk about the future, we have different ways to do it, right? We can do it with the will, that it's the most common one, no? I will be fluent, I will lose the fear, I will have the ability to speak with no sé quién, right? Or the be going to, which is the other one, which is very common. I am going to do this, I am going to do that, like, easy, ready? When we have will, since these are our goals, we have the possibility to like include a degree of certainty when we are sure or not sure. This is our goal. So of course, probably we are not completely sure. This is what we want, but we are not sure if we are going to get it or not. We hope so. And mostly we're sure, but we are not completely sure. So in that case, we're going to be using will, right? And using will, it's going to allow me to use other different ways to future simple, right? Which is the future simple, future continuous, and the future perfect, right? Of course, we also have other expressions, like, for example, so by teacher, I want to be fluent. Okay, that's also part of the future. I hope to lose the fear. Okay, good. That's also part of the future, right? And in this case, what we're going to have, it's like the three different kinds of future. The ones that we have seen before, no? This is not new for you, something that you previously learned. The future simple, which is will, and the base form, something that you will do in a specific time. For example, in October 17. That is a specific moment because when we are here in August, we are looking 2 months in the future into October, especially October 17. If you say something that is going to happen about on that day, it's only will. In October 17, the contract will expire. That's something that is going to happen there, right? And also, we can also use an activity that I will be doing in that moment. I hope so. In October 17, you will be practicing more time daily. I hope so, no? You will be checking, you will be practicing with series, for example, or you will be learning more vocabulary, no? It's a process that you will be doing in that moment. That's it, right? But when we say by October, instead of saying in October, yes? Or when we say, for example, within 2 months, what is the meaning of within? Do you remember?
Dentro de o de.
Dentro de, very good. So in that case, within 2 months, right, is something that it is not going to happen specifically here. No, it's something that can happen from here until there, but we are not exactly sure when it's going to happen, right? In that case, remember that we use the future perfect. Future perfect, which is going to be used with will plus have plus the verb in past participle. For example, I think that by October or within 2 months, you will have become more fluent. Of course, if you practice daily, right? So you will have become more fluent, right? When? I don't know specifically when. I just know that before October or before these 2 months, which is the limit in here, right? We will have done something. And in that case, you will have become more fluent, ready? No, it's not specifically when. It can be from here until there, but we don't know specifically in what moment of the future will have happened that, right? That's, of course, the future perfect, the one that we have seen before, will have at the present past participle. Easy, like habré hecho, habré finalizado, habré, ta, ta, ta. Ready? Any questions on that future perfect, or is it clear?
So, teacher, future perfect, I don't know exactly when I have finished that thing, yes?
Exactly, Lou. I know the limit of time. O sea, here the limit is October 17 because that is the last day of the contract. But I don't know if you will have become fluent in September, maybe at the beginning of October, maybe right now you are already fluent. So it's before this moment, but it's not specifically when, right? So maybe in 2 days, maybe, for example, specifically because here becoming more fluent, it's a process. So it's a process that it will happen over here, yes, but it will finish before the October 17, that is the limit, right? So it can be because the action happened in a non-specific moment, or it can be because it's an action that happened for some other time, right? Like long, and that it doesn't finish like in a specific moment, but it's a process which is happening constantly until that limit of time. Yeah, got it?
Yes, teacher.
Very good, excellent. Ready? So-
Teacher, me.
Yes, Sarita, yes.
I am confused with the second one that we use will be an ing. The second one,
Very good. Okay, so wait a second. That's it. Listo, my dear. So when I use the future continuous, it's will, be, and the verb in ing, right? Because it's continuous. It's an action that in a certain point of the future you will be doing. I don't know specifically when the action started, and I don't know specifically when the action finished, but I know that in that moment of the history, in the future, the action will be happening. For example, yes, this is in December, yes, in December, I will be still working with the rest of the group, because of the group. We have a group which is April 17. That is our group, yes? But you are part of the group, of the shortest group, because you have only 6 months of contract, yes? The other group has 9 months, and the other group has 12 months, right? So when I say that I will be doing an action, is because the action started on April 17. And the action will finish on April 17 of the next year. So the action started before and finishes after, but in that moment of the story, the action will be happening continuously. That future continuous is used for activities which never stop. For example, will be working, will be living, will be traveling, will be, I don't know, studying, something like that, for processes like that. Remember that future continuous of progressive is for a progress, right? So it's an action that it's long in the time and will be happening for some time, right? Maybe in 2025, I will be living in the United States. I will be living in the United States, right? So in that case, live, it's an action that is long, and that's why we use the future continuous. If I want to say that in the future, I will live, no, I will be living, because it's a progress. So that's why we use future continuous. Okay, Sarita? Better?
yes, teacher. It's
Perfect,
clear.
that's it, good. Bueno, muy bien. So, and it's important that you have cleared the future perfect and the future continuous. Why? Because of course, it's different, or they are different, no? So one is talking the space of time before the limit, or before the expression, and the other one is talking about the expression. I mean, that is specifically in that moment, but the action doesn't happen exclusively in that moment. It started before and finishes after, right? So basically, that's the future perfect and the future continuous. The future simple, it's super simple, right? Now, what happened if I combine the future perfect and the future continuous? Well, we have the future perfect continuous, right? The future perfect continuous, it's very similar to the future perfect, but it's going to be focused on the time, on the time of the action, yes? What I want to know, specifically when I use the future perfect continuous, is how much time or for how much time I will have been doing the action, right? Look at this. If I combine the future perfect and the future continuous, I will have something like that. Will, or common, of course, have been and the verb in past. Sorry, the verb in ing. When I say I will have been doing something, yes, it's like habré estado haciendo an action, right? Just I will have been living, I will have been working, I will have been doing something. And as I told you, the most important part here, it's going to be the time. So usually in the complement, we are going to have for and the time that I will have been doing the action, right? For example, the next, well, wait a second. Let me just make an spacing here. We are in August, ready? And the next January, yes, I will have been working here for 9 years. Yes, the next January, o sea, the next year on January 28th, right? I will have been working here in Smart for 9 years. I started in 2015, but I want to express that in that moment of the future, the time of the action will have been done, right? So as it is a long action, similar to this one, right? Then it's going to be a continuous time, working, living, studying, traveling, longer actions, right? So in that case, I will have been working here in Smart for 9 years, from 2015 to 2024. Of course, I am counting into the future. I am not counting to the present. I'm counting with the future. So that's why I use will have been and the verb in past participle. So that is important. That's why it is so important to differentiate the future continuous and the future perfect, because we also have the future perfect continuous, which is a combination between the future perfect and the future continuous, right? Will have been and the verb in ing, especially used for the duration of the last of the action in the future. Got it? More or less? Confusing? Difficult? What do you think?
Teacher, that has a name, or you, for referring to that, you call it like combined? Do you say it is combined?
It is combined, but it's future perfect continuous.
Okay.
Future perfect continuous.
Continue.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's the time. I know it's a little bit confusing when you explain it. It's like, hey, well, what is all of that information? But it's actually super simple. It's very similar to the future perfect, just that in that case, we focus our attention on the duration of the action in the time, right? Okay. Any other question? Any other difficulty?
Me, teacher,
Dale,
we
Pati.
can use for or by, or only for. By
When
9 years?
no, in that case, it's only 4. By is going to show
Why?
me in what moment I am taking account. Ready? Look at this, for example. When
But
we are,
it,
I'm going to make another example. Tati.
okay.
August, it's here. in December, it's here. Ready? I have a trip, which is not true, it's an example. I have a trip planned for November the 24th, right? In that moment, starts my trip. So I'm going to be traveling. Ready? What I can say, or what I can use with by, is the moment in which I am taking into account, el momento en el que tengo en cuenta, right? O en el que voy a contar. In that case, December, especially December the 24th or Christmas, right? So I can say, for example, that by the next Christmas, right? I for, bueno, no sé, ¿cuánto tiempo hay from here to here? Tell me.
1 month.
1 month, good. So the focus is 1 month. By is for expressing the moment in which I am taking the measurement, en el que estoy midiendo, ready? But for, it's used for the quantity of time, which is X, from the moment when the action started and the moment when I am measuring. Desde el momento en que empieza hasta el momento en que estoy midiendo, ¿verdad? Bueno, ¿y aquí qué? I will, the action, actually, they are for. Sorry. It's tin. What do you think?
I will have been traveling.
You think so? Yes, very good. I will have been traveling for 1 month. The action that I will be doing is traveling. So I am saying, okay, en este momento, para este entonces, habré estado viajando por 1 mes, right? I will have been traveling for 1 month, right? So it's super simple. It's actually super short. It's not difficult. I mean, it's a little bit confusing because it has 1, 2, 3, and 4 verbs combined, but it's actually super simple. Will have been is always the same. What is going to change is the ing because that is the action that we are changing. But the rest is always the same. No has, no nothing. It's just will have been and then the verb in ing. Siempre, right? Good. Questions there, difficulties, un poquito mejor.
Teacher, I don't know. Maybe it's obvious, but
No.
when it's a third person, for example, she will have been the same, yes? Will have
Exactly. Yes.
been, okay.
Yes, because will is a modal verb. So as a modal verb, it doesn't change. No matter if it's he, she, we, doesn't matter. It's will have all the time. Will have been independently of the subject. Ready?
Thank you.
Listo, muy bien. Very good. So well, over here, where we can see that a part of these three, we have, as I told you, the two ones, the two different ones, right? So future perfect, simple and continuous, right? So by the end of the year, I will have learned how to cook very well. O sea, by the end of the year, it means December, right? So December, it's the limit of time. From this moment, from the present until December, that is the limit of time, in which I said, hey, stop. Hasta ahí va, yes? Ese es el límite de tiempo. No es que la acción vaya a pasar ahí. La acción habrá sucedido antes de eso, right? By the end of the year, I will have learned how to cook very well. When? I don't know. Maybe in September, maybe in October, maybe in November, maybe now. Doesn't matter, right? In any moment. But when I say future perfect continuous, it's like, okay, by the end of the year, yes, the action that I will have been doing, right? It's living, right? I started to live in my apartment in May. May, it was the moment when the action started, in May. From May to December, how many times or how many months we have?
8.
So in that case, I said, bueno, by the end of the year, I will have been living. It's a process, right? And how much time? 8 months. Okay, so I will have been living in my new flat or apartment, is the same, for 8 months. So focus especially on the time. How much time has passed from here to here? 8 months. Okay, that's the action, or that is the moment in which I can say, I will have been doing this or that action, doesn't matter, for and the amount of time. Listo? Ready? Questions? No? All good? Any other with these examples? Well, fine. Pedro, how do you feel, bro? More confused? Like, it's all right, no problem. Bueno, creo que bien. Okay, good. No problem. Ready? Listo, my dear people. So, now that you have this, the part of the future clear, I would like to ask you another question. What if, you know what is the meaning of what if, of course, you know, what if you had not taken this course? What if you hadn't, or if you had not taken this course? What if you hadn't taken or had not taken this course? What would have happened if you hadn't taken this course? What do you think?
In my case, nothing. Maybe just I will I'm doing this course because I want to learn. Because in my job, I probably I won't get anything, but it's just because I want to learn. So nothing.
Just, I wouldn't learn. That's it, no, I wouldn't learn. Like, como, no aprendería, fin. That's it, nothing
Yes.
else. No more consequences, right? Muy bien, very good, excellent, Tati. Anything else? What if you hadn't taken this course? Nothing? No correct, no consequences of that? Like that, my life would be the same. Yeah.
No, I think I will be planning to take this course.
O sea, if you hadn't taken, you would be planning right now to take it in the future.
Yeah, if I hadn't, I will be thinking about it.
Yeah, I would be thinking about it. Very good, excellent. Thinking about it. Excellent, Sarita. Good. Anybody else?
No, teacher, I don't know. Maybe the same there. I wouldn't learn.
I wouldn't learn.
Maybe I wouldn't practice. I don't know.
I wouldn't practice. Good, excellent. That's it also. I wouldn't practice. Okay, bueno, very good. So this question was about a hypothetical case in the past. Like, because of course you already took the course, ya lo tomaron. So what I'm doing here is asking a question about a hypothetical thing in the past. When I say like, bueno, ¿y qué tal si no lo hubieran hecho, right? But it's imaginary. Remember that that is part of the third condition. Yes? Normally, in the third conditional, you answer with would have. You said, teacher, if I hadn't taken this course, I wouldn't have spent my money. No me hubiera gastado, but I wouldn't have spent my money. Good, very good. So the conditional number 3, it's going to have, let's see, it's going to have past perfect and would have and the past participle, como acá, ¿cierto? But when you use third conditional, you are talking a hypothetical condition in the past with a consequence in the past. Okay, perfect. So the consequence is would have. But what happened if the consequence is in the present, like in your cases? Well, perfectly. I am going to use exactly as you did it here. I am going to have a mixed conditional. A mixed conditional, of course, is mixed. I have to use it for combining the third conditional, which is a hypothetical situation in the past, with the second conditional, which is a hypothetical consequence in the present or in the future. For example, if let's say if Tati hadn't taken the course, of course, the course, she wouldn't learn. Okay, when she says, I wouldn't learn anything, it's in the present. If she wants to say, no hubiese aprendido, I wouldn't have learned. But she has the two possibilities. So I can say it using the third conditional, or I can mix the conditional number 3 and the conditional number 2 and use it for creating a new different condition. Ready? Peter, my friend, could you please help me to read this sentence? No te escucho, Peter. I'm sorry.
Could you listen?
Yes, now I can listen. Yeah.
Sorry, I have problems with my microphone. Used to describe past hypothetical situation with consequence in the present.
Very good. Used to describe a hypothetical situation in the past, something that could have happened or couldn't have happened in the past, but it's hypothetical, with consequence in the present. So, si eso hubiese pasado o no hubiese pasado, in this moment, I would, For example, as Sarita said, I would be thinking about it. Estaría pensándolo ¿dónde? In the present. So that's why she said, I would be thinking about it. I wouldn't practice, no practicaría when? In the present. So that's why she says, I would, and the very past participle. Sorry, in infinite. ¿Listo? Peter, continue with the example, my brother.
If I hadn't missed the job interview, I'd be working now.
Exactly. If I hadn't missed in the past the job interview, I would be working now, the present. So in that case, what they are doing is this. They have the the first part of the third conditional, past perfect, if I had, if I hadn't, and they didn't use it with the third conditional because this is a consequence in the past, but they use it together with the second conditional, the second part, which is a consequence in the present. So in that case, it's saying like, si hubiera hecho esto, en este momento no estaría pasando por tal cosa, right? Hypothetical condition in the past with a consequence, also hypothetical, also unreal, in the present, right? So once again, I am going to ask you, what if you hadn't learned anything of English? In this moment, believe me, you know to speak in English. Maybe not the fastest, maybe not the fluentest, but you know how to speak in English, right? So let's say, what if you hadn't learned to speak in English? What would be different in your lives?
If I hadn't learned English, I would be disappointed.
For example, very good. In this moment, she would feel disappointed. Maybe in the past, no, but in this moment, she would feel disappointed. She would be disappointed. Thank you, Sam. What else?
I wouldn't have gotten job opportunities.
Okay. Majo
Is that correct?
using...
Or
Yeah, it's correct. Just don't worry. It's going to be correct. But in that case, you are referring to a past consequence. So she said, I wouldn't have gotten job opportunities. When? Now? No. In the past. Ready? So she says, wouldn't have gotten. We immediately refer to the past. No hubiese obtenido oportunidades de empleo. But if she wants to say, no recibiría ninguna oferta in this moment. 。
Um, I wouldn't have, I don't know, teacher. In the verb in present, good, get. I wouldn't. Okay. I wouldn't get job opportunities. Okay.
Exactly, bajo, muy bien. Remember that it's second conditional, o sea, cuando digo no recibiría in present, it's simply would plus the verb in infinitive. That's it, no more, doesn't require have, because would have is going to be directly for when I say would have or would have plus the verb in past participle, that is about the past. But in this case, we're talking about the present, so that's why we use only would and the verb infinitive. If I hadn't learned English, I wouldn't get any job opportunities now, right? Muy bien. Any other consequence of not learning English?
My case, teacher, if I hadn't learned English, I wouldn't have been able to attend some work meetings.
Good. Well, in the past or now?
Now, teacher.
Okay, so careful, because when you said I wouldn't have been able, I wouldn't have been able to, look, this is the structure that we use for talking about the past. Wouldn't have been able. Would have very past participle. But if you want to say that it's now, en este momento no podrías atender a reuniones que son en inglés, but in this moment, in the present, I wouldn't be directly would and the verb infinitive. I wouldn't be able to attend working meetings. That's it, right? But wouldn't be able, not have been, not just I wouldn't be able because it's in the present, right? If it's in the past, okay, then in that case, I wouldn't have been to attend job meetings in the pandemic or the last year or something like that. But in this case, I wouldn't be able to now in my current job. Okay, Peter? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Good, very good. Tati, you had another example, my dear.
If I hadn't learned English, I wouldn't have finished my pre-grade.
For example, she's talking about the past. So she said, Sherry, if I hadn't learned English, I wouldn't have finished or I wouldn't have graduated from the university, right? I wouldn't have finished my undergraduate, not pre-grade, but undergraduate. Ready? Undergraduate. That's it. Muy bien. Oh, my major, simplemente major. That's another possibility. Muy bien, very good. Excellent. In the past, no? So that's it. Or she could say, teacher, if I hadn't learned English before, I wouldn't be a professional geologist. I wouldn't be a professional geologist. You know, so in the present. Okay, so that's another possibility. Muy bien. I can have would and verb infinitive, one possibility, or as Sarah did it before, she says that she wouldn't be doing or she would be doing something now. So also we have the possibility to express a consequence which would be like a progress in the present. In that case, with a very simple structure, only using would, be, and the verb in ing. Estaría haciendo blah, blah, blah. Yes? For example, if I hadn't learned English before, yes, pregunta.
Teacher, I'm sorry. The would plus infinitive, what time is it?
Second conditional. O sea, present or future.
Present or future?
Yeah,
What?
because así está possibility, como es una posibilidad, puede ser para el presente o puede ser para el futuro. Right?
Okay.
O sea, when I say, for example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a house. ¿Cuándo? Puede ser ahora, puede ser mañana, no sé, porque es simplemente una posibilidad pequeña, right? That's why. And this one would have, it's only for the past. That's only for past. Ready? Bueno, muy bien. So I can say, haría tal cosa o estaría haciendo tal otra. Por ejemplo, if I hadn't learned English before, Sarah told us I would be thinking about it now. Think, it's a process because it's something that you do continuously. So I would be thinking about it now. Yes. If you hadn't decided to take the course, yes, I wouldn't be having class right now. Yes, I would be correcting checkpoints or something like that, but I wouldn't be having this class because, of course, you wouldn't be here, right? So situations hypothetical in the past with a consequence in the present, it's a mix. It's a mixture between third conditional and second condition. ¿Vale? So it's important to check the consequence. Sometimes it might be about the past, would have. Sometimes might be about the present or possibly about the future. Would be in ing or would and in. How do you feel? ¿Cómo se siente? Good, questions, confusing?
Good teacher.
Luisa, ¿cómo vas? All fine?
No, teacher.
Cuéntame. Es momento de las preguntas,
Yes,
dale.
but no, I try to, because when I don't know, teacher, when you try to speak in English, for me, I forget all this.
That's common. That's common. That is why
Yeah.
you have to practice continuously with these topics so you can make it mechanical, no? So
Yes. So, for example, when I start to do the exercise, I don't understand anything. What? So I don't know when is future, when is present, and when I pass in the, for example, in the plataforma, because the plataforma only one.
yeah, you know, it has a lot of problems. Look at this question, Lou, and with this question, maybe you are going to feel a little bit more contextualized. What if you hadn't gone to Canada? What if you hadn't gone to Canada? La pregunta es acerca de algo que nunca va a pasar porque es algo hipotético acerca del pasado, es algo que no puedes cambiar. ¿Por qué? Porque sí te fuiste. Entonces, la pregunta, bueno, ¿y qué si no te hubieras ido? Ya igual es irrelevante. O sea, toda la pregunta siempre será acerca del pasado. It means past perfect. Had and the verb in past participle. ¿Cierto? Porque es una situación hipotética del pasado. Entonces, la pregunta siempre será con had. ¿Cierto? If if subject plus had plus the verb in past participle. Esa es la condición. La condición es hipotética acerca del pasado, por lo tanto uso en la parte del tercer condicional, o sea, past perfect. Yes, if I had, if you had, and the complement. Esa es la condición, right? Sencillo. Entonces, in this case, the condition would be if I had not gone to Canada. ¿Qué habría pasado? Entonces tienes dos opciones. La consecuencia puede ser, me hubiera deprimido en el pasado. Me hubiera o me hubiese deprimido es una consecuencia en el pasado. Yes, in that case, if the consequence is in the past, únicamente if the consequence is in the past, I have to use subject, would, have, and the verb in past participle. Recuerda, would have verb in past participle, ya sé que estoy hablando de pasado. ¿Sí? ¿Ready? Y ese, así como está ahí, es el tercer condicional. Si yo hubiera hecho tal cosa, otra cosa habría pasado. Fin. That's it. ¿Cuál es el cambio? Si le incluyo una consecuencia en el presente. In the present. Que es una combinación entre el tercer condicional y el segundo condicional. Entonces aquí sería the subject would plus the verb in infinitive. Normalito. Would, go, would, have, would, la. O puedo tener la diferencia, o digamos como la opción de colocar would plus be plus the verb in ing. Como estaría haciendo tal cosa. ¿Cuándo? En el presente. Over here. Cuando digo would have and verb in past participle, it's about the past. O sea, me habría sentido muy mal en el pasado. Yes, pero en este momento estaría viviendo con mis papás. In this moment, in the present. Entonces, depende de la situación, la consecuencia puede ser en el pasado o puede ser en el presente. Aquí tus compañeros nos dieron algunas consecuencias en el pasado, otras en el presente, ¿cierto? Entonces, incluso la misma consecuencia se puede colocar de dos maneras. I wouldn't have finished my major. No habría terminado la carrera en el pasado. Pero en este momento no sería una ingeniera, una geóloga profesional. Misma consecuencia, pero desde dos perspectivas, ¿verdad? Entonces, it depends. Obviamente en la plataforma tiene sus vainas, pero básicamente es eso. Puedes hacerlo con consecuencia en el pasado o consecuencia en el presente. ¿Mejor? ¿Un poquito mejor?
Yes, but when I had to use the, how do you say in English, la coma, because sometimes I had to put the la coma when you write, and all the time I had to put the comma after if, yes?
Yes, we have two parts. The first part is the condition, the second part is the consequence. This is the condition, que siempre empieza con if, y the consequence siempre tiene el modal, en este caso would, ya sea would have o no. If I have condition and consequence later, there is a comma in the middle. But sometimes I start with the consequence and then I have the condition after. In that case, I don't have to use a comma because if is going to connect the sentence number one with the sentence number two. So in that case, I do not have to use the comma.
Okay, it's the same. Okay, I got it.
Ready? Yes. Muy bien. Very good. Listo, guys. Any other question? Any other difficulty? Any other thing?
Teacher, this is like, I don't know, I am a little bit frustrated because I feel like my English works only when it wants to work, and I don't know how to practice that because I think like my brain decides like today I'm gonna speak English very fluently, very well, and the next day not. For example, today I feel like I am speaking like a baby, and the other day I feel like I'm speaking like a pro. So I don't know what to do to practice that because I feel like I am good, but not always. So I am a little bit frustrated, and I wanted to ask you for an advice for that.
Remember what I told you at the beginning of the class? It's very ironical, but depending on the context and the people, sometimes we feel like pros, as you said, other times we feel like we cannot speak. It is very frustrating, as you said, right? Important. Something that at this level you have got to do is to tip in the water. Tip in the water, it means like probar el agua, ¿no? Como go a little bit out of the comfort zone using more complex structures, trying to include these structures not into a long text, something short, right? For example, try to always connect it to your life for starters, for beginners, right? But later start talking about other different contexts. For example, in this case, you have a lot of different examples to create. ¿Qué habría pasado si o qué habría pasado si no, ta, ta, ta? You have 1,000 examples to create. Start talking about it, start thinking these kind of sentences as often as you can, so you can like automatize this process, like make it more mechanical, right? At the beginning, the fluency is not fluent. At the beginning, the fluency is mechanical and it's repetitive and it's uncomfortable and it's annoying, but that eventually is going to become like fluent, right? So I know, Maho, what you mean. It's very frustrating sometimes, right? But it's a process of overcoming that frustration and losing the fear. Let it flow. Like, no, I gotta, yes. And something that I want you to remember for always is that the people don't give a shit about your mistakes. They don't care if you use that instead of do. They don't care. They don't even notice, right? So when you're speaking, well, depending, of course, if you are in a job interview or if you are talking in a casting where they are trying your English, well, they are going to notice. But in normal day conversations, they don't care and they don't even notice about your mistakes. So forget about the fear of making mistakes. Don't worry, they don't care about it. So just try to let it flow. And if you make a mistake, heads up, and don't worry, continue coming forward because everybody makes mistakes anyway, so they don't care too much about it, ready? It's just that those are like the most important tips that I can give you because exercises, you know a lot. Vocabulary, you know a lot. So it's more like those forward tips that I can give you, okay, Mo? I have another class.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Oh, don't worry, it's frustrating, but you believe me, you have great level, all of you guys. So it's just a matter of confidence, trust on yourself. It's something important, but basically you have good levels. It's just a matter of practicing, keeping there, staying there, be constant. Well, a little bit frustrating, but you know, listo, guys. So, guys,
Hey,
yes, question.
Yes, can I take a picture the, how do you say, el cuadrito?
Wait,
The conditionals.
el conditional,
Yes.
el cuadrito de los condicionales. Wait,
I
espérame, ya
want
lo
to do
abro.
that. Let's see.
Ya lo abro.
Thank
Wait,
you.
wait. T. This is intermediate 2. This is T. Good, right here. F, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, of course.
Thank you so much, teacher.
No problem. You're welcome. Bueno, my dear people, so this week was only one class. I hope to see you, most of you, no, all of you in the advanced level, but I hope to see you, most of you, the next week. If you don't finish the next week, don't worry. Nothing is going to happen. Just continue and catch up with us in the week 2 or in the week 3. But the important thing is that you continue and pass to the next level, okay?
Thank you, teacher.
Have a
Bye.
good night. See you next week. Have a
Thank
wonderful weekend.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.
Bye. See you
Bye,
later.
teacher.
Thank
Thanks.
you,
Bye
teacher.
bye. Bye bye,
Bye.
Pedro. Bye, Sarita. See you soon.